So I hope I'm audible to everyone. Okay, perfect. So thanks a lot and good morning again. And thanks for joining. I guess today you have been informed that we will have a quiz of
Yes,
45 minutes, which is our first quiz. And so for the same reason, the lecture duration will be of 45 minutes only. Okay. So, and I guess, Soumya, are you there? Yeah, Soumya is.
Yes, sir.
Soumya, hi. So, Soumya, I assume you have already informed about the syllabus and subject. You just
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've already informed.
yeah, perfect. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. So I guess so without taking much time, we would like to do first a quick recap of the last lecture, and then accordingly we will try to see if we can go ahead. Okay. So let me just present my screen. I hope it is visible now. Can someone please confirm if it is visible?
yes, sir.
Okay. I guess I'm not sure why the PowerPoint images are not being loaded. Just give me one sec to fix this thing. Somehow the images are not getting loaded in the PowerPoint. I'm not sure why. Just okay. Now I think it's in better shape. Perfect. So do we have a volunteer who can do a quick recap of decision trees for us? Anyone? I think we started from decision trees only, right? In the last lecture. Yeah, we covered some part of the navigation as well, but I guess we can start from here. Anyone? No? Well, I assume you guys prepared for the quiz, so I mean you should have already brushed up decision trees. Maybe Soumya, would you like to help me and see if someone is willing to do it?
Naman, will you do that? Naman, are you there?
Ma'am, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll try to do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure. Thank
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so
But
we had, discussed the decision trees, and we started with a very basic decision tree idea. So, I mean, we discussed like we have a question whether I'm hungry or not. So the two, possible outcomes would be yes or no. So if, I mean, I was hungry, so the option was to, to check whether I have the sufficient amount of money, which is 500 INR. So again, yes and no, and depending upon the options, the decision outcomes, the tree was building further. So this is a simple example of a decision tree. And so in a decision tree, there is a root node, a parent node, which is followed by the child nodes, depending upon the decision which is made. So you can further just move the slide, please. Yeah, so it is used for various applications like credit card whether to approve a credit card application or not, whether to approve a loan application or not. So we discussed about its practical applications. Like sir told, in industry it is generally used because generally the managers, they are non technical hands, so it becomes quite easier to explain the underlying algorithm to them. So
mhm.
you can just move yeah. So we discussed a small data set wherein these different features were available. So 14 observations, and the features were outlook, temperature, humidity, and wind. And we had to classify whether the we have to put the new instance in the play tennis category, which is yes or no. Yeah, so we discussed it. So here comes the role of the entropy, right? So
Mhm.
entropy is the amount of information contained. So and we learned to calculate the basic entropy. And yeah, you can see the algorithm also, the same one, which etc etc. So we did some basic entropy calculations. You can see the formula. for two different, coin events we saw, wherein the probabilities were same, and in the another you can see the probabilities were different. So further this, yeah, so we had talked about entropy. Yeah, so some basic calculations were done and we carried out a small quiz. Yeah, so after that we had talked about conditional entropy and also did some basic calculations. This is what we did.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Thanks a lot. So I guess so. This is where we left, if I'm not wrong, and I requested all of you to please go through this calculation, and I hope you were able to get this thing done. So so now having said that, that you are able to understand the entropy, you are now understand that how to calculate the conditional entropy. Basically, now what we want to do, simply by making use of this entropy and conditional entropy, we want to understand that which are the attributes which help you in reducing the uncertainty, that is which helps you in gaining certain particular information. So that is where the concept of information gain, it comes in. And so ID3 is just one of the ways, let's say, metrics to identify the best attribute when you are trying to split a decision tree. But then there are other ways as well. But ID3 is of course one of being the most popular approach. That is what we are going to study. And but nevertheless, you feel free to explore other options as well. So basically, ID3, I mean, in short, the full form of the ID3 is iterative dichotomizer. And the way reason it is known as iterative dichotomizer is because the one thing, it iteratively does the things. So basically, if you remember our top-down approach, the greedy approach, we go iteratively at each node, trying to identify the distribute and then split the decision tree. And now what it tries to do, it tries to divide it into two or more groups at each particular point, and that is why dichotomizer. So that is how the name comes, ID3. So basically, information gain, the metric that ID3 tries to look into is nothing but the expected reduction in the entropy after splitting. So basically, what we want to have is here is this, that you want to take an attribute for which you want to do the split, and in such a way that like after the splitting, it should is the process of assigning the label to it. So I mean, it means that there should be a value that it is adding, and that is what the value we are seeking in terms of the information. So as the idea is very, very simple, of course, like the information gain is greater than 0, it means it is adding some information, it is not taking out away the information, it is adding some information, so where the split is preferred. And of course, if you have multiple attributes, then what do you think could be done? If you have multiple attributes, then what do you want to look at to identify which attribute should be used to do the split?
The one which has maximum information gain.
The one that has the maximum information gain, right? Of course, because you want to have the first top order split with the maximum information gain, and down the line you want to reduce it. And why you want to keep the attribute with the maximum information gain at the top? Anyone? Why you want to keep the node with the maximum information gain at the top? Why can't we keep it at the bottom?
Because we would have pure samples at the end. I mean, by picking up the one which has highest information gain, we are reducing the entropy by a great extent. So
Exactly.
we'll have a very homogeneous sort of a decision at the end. At the leaf, we'd arrive at the leaf much faster.
Much faster, if you say. So to cut the entire story short, like the idea is that okay, you will arrive to the decision much faster. Of course, like you have to understand this, that like whatever order of these attributes you are going to use to do the split, no matter one or the other, ultimately you will be arriving at the same decision. It's just like it's going to be a matter of time and the complexity. That's it. But the reason why we want to do this, we want to have such an attribute where so if you recall this particular example, I think we had a very simple small example which was I think for this particular thing, right? So for example, like if we just look at the outlook and outlook overcast, yes, I mean, it's very, very simple. I mean, this is the one of the fastest ways in which you can arrive to the answer, that you just look at the one attribute and one attribute and if the characteristic is this, then you are simply arriving to answer. And then what better way could be than not to look at even other properties, right? And that is why we say here that like outlook is a better property, because it is offering you much more information than any other attribute can offer to you. And that is what is the same idea here, that once what you have here is that information gain is the highest for a particular attribute, you are going to pick that, and the way you calculate the information gain is simply it's a reduction in the entropy, so which is the your entropy minus the conditional entropy. And now to just put the entire story again in the perspective, so you already know how to calculate the entropy, you already know how to calculate the conditional entropy. I hope you have gone through. And then this is the info, this is how you calculate the information gain. So just we will, this is the only thing that we will be doing for today, that let us try to understand that for this sample data set, which is a data set I think of 10 samples only. For this sample data set, let us try to understand that which is the best attribute among the humidity and the wind. Of course, we would like to do it for all the attributes, but just to start and to see how it works, we will like to understand that if we were to choose between humidity and the wind, which one we are going to choose. So anyone, any idea how to proceed with that? If you want to understand that given the humidity and the wind, how should we choose one of the attributes? It's as simple as that, right? So what you want to do essentially to proceed with, you want to calculate the you want to calculate the information gain of the humidity, and you want to calculate the information gain for the wind, right? So I mean, this should not come as a surprise, that the very first thing that we want to do is, of course, we will have to calculate the information gain of H. Well, I mean, H here is the, yeah, H is humid. I mean, of course, let us call it as H comma W, where H is referring to the humidity, W is referring to the wind, and Ig is wind is okay. Now, of course, depending upon which one is higher, we are going to use H or W, right? So now let us start with one this particular thing, information gain of H. How to calculate the information gain of H, which is the humidity? Rather than calling it as the H, maybe we can call it as the humidity itself, or HUM maybe, just to differentiate from this entropy signal, right? So let us call that information gain of humidity is going to be entropy of humidity minus conditional entropy of humidity given the X. What should be the values of the X in this case? Anyone? For the humidity, what should be the values of the X?
The output means we are playing golf or tennis.
We are looking at the conditional entropy here, right? So for the conditional entropy, we have to look at all the outcomes of the particular attribute that are possible. Remember? अभी यहाँ पे आ जाते हैं भाई फिर से. हमने यहाँ पे क्या किया देखो. We want to calculate the h of y given x, right? Now h of y given x की बजाय we said like okay we want to look at h of y given x1, right? So the moment we say h of y given x1, right? So we y given x1. Now x1 we wanted to look at that, okay, x1 is what? X1 is going to, whatever the values that x1 are going to take, we are going to look into those values, right? So similarly, what are we going to do here? That, okay, let me just rub this again and maybe make the story a bit more clear. So basically what we are interested in knowing that, okay, we want to, rather than humidity, it should be the plate tennis, because that's the output actually. X is the feature. So I misplaced the X and Y together, okay. So what we want to do, we want to calculate the information gain of the humidity as well as the information gain of the wind. And for both the things, what we want to understand, that we want to understand whether we want to play the tennis or not. So in general, your Y is going to become the play tennis, right? And your X will become the humidity. And what are the values for the humidity that you can have? I think for the humidity you have anyone? For the humidity, the values that you have is high and normal, right? Anyone so far with me? Right. So humidity के साथ में you have only these two options, right? Either you can have the high humidity or you can have the normal humidity, and that is how you are going to calculate h of y given x, right? So very first thing you calculate information gain on the humidity. Next you calculate the entropy of the plate tennis, which is, or maybe we can start with this. So would anyone like to calculate this information, the entropy of the plate tennis? Give us the value. Anyone?
Can you please go to the table?
Yes, I think we definitely need the table. You're right. I'm not sure if there is a way I can put it here together, but So in any case, so what I think to do this quickly, I will request you to please note down the formulas. I think you may have gone through this already, but okay, please note down the formulas and let us try to see how can it be applied to a particular database, right? So I will just take 1 minute if you can note it down quickly. I think the entropy and the conditional entropy should be already known. The information gain is simply the reduction. Nevertheless, please note down and then so that we can quickly move. Simultaneously, one question while you are noting down the formula. So, for example, let's say you are going to calculate the information gain for the humidity as well as information gain for the wind, right? You are going to calculate both the information gain. Now, in both the things, h of y will h of y vary, h of y and h of y given x vary for both the things.
H of y given x.
This will vary, right? And will this vary or no?
No,
This will not vary. Why this will not vary?
it's the entropy of the entire set.
It's the entropy of the outcome itself, right? It's the entropy of the, and which is not dependent on the x actually. So the important thing to understand, it is not dependent on the x. So I hope that this particular point is clear. So once you are calculating h of y, this can be used for both the things. The only thing you have to pay a bit attention is h of y given x as well here, right? And the other important thing to understand, like just to make at least note this thing particular down. Always when you are to calculate the conditional entropy, it is going to help you out if you can make a kind of, this is what I like to do actually. If you can make a kind of, decision tree for the particular attribute. So for example, like if you have the I think the humidity, if you talk about the humidity, how many outcomes the humidity can have? Low and high though. Can you please quickly remind?
Normal high.
Normal and high, right? So there are only two outcomes, normal and high, right? So then, and okay, altogether we have how many samples? 10 samples, right? No. Can anyone please
14.
remind? Sorry?
14.
14 samples. Okay, so 14 samples. And now, like if we talk about for certain samples, humidity can take the normal value or the high value. So how many times the humidity is taking a normal value and how many times the humidity is taking a high value versus yes or no? How many values are normal for humidity? I mean, you can just quickly look at the table, right?
6 positive, 1 negative.
When the humidity is normal, right?
Yes.
And when the humidity is high? Anyone?
3 yes, 4 no.
3 yes and 4 no, right? So like this is very important to understand. Once you are able to create this, then it is going to become easy for you. So this is this is how you are going to calculate this conditional entropy that you are trying to calculate is nothing but the conditional entropy that you are going to get from here, right? So for example, like how many times it is positive, how many times it is given, how many times it is positive given this is yes, how many times this is negative given yes, and how many times this is positive given high and negative given high, right? So that is what will become your conditional entropy. Similarly, if you want, we can just quickly do this exercise for the wind as well. For the wind, again, the total number of samples are going to be 14 only, and again there is going to be certain positive, certain negative. But what are the values that wind is taking? High, low, I guess, or should be something like that again. What are the values that wind is taking? It's taking two values, I guess, right? Again,
weak and strong.
Weak and strong. Okay, so it is taking a value of weak, it is taking a value of strong. Of course, altogether the total number of samples cannot be 14. So what is the positive and the negative in this case? When the wind is weak, or how many total samples are there when the wind is weak? Anyone?
6 yes, 2 no.
6 yes, 2 no. And for the strong?
3 3 each.
3 each. That's a very good. So conditional entropy will become equal. Okay, so 6 and altogether it is 6 plus 2 8, 8 plus 3 11, 11 plus 3 14. Perfect. So it means we have that. So like this is what you have to always put into take into the consideration. Always take make a split for all the attributes like this, and then like this will make your life easier while calculating the conditional entropy. Entropy is easier to calculate, and once you have the conditional entropy and entropy, then you can easily calculate this thing, right? So I hope that you have noted down the formulas. So let us quickly try to go back and let us try to do one calculation at least for the information gain of the humidity, and then once we can see that, and then quickly we can check for the wind as well. Information gain for the humidity. So the first thing we have to calculate the entropy of the, whether I want to play the tennis or not. Entropy that I want to play tennis or not, minus conditional entropy of I want to play tennis given humidity. Perfect. So first value, whether we want to play tennis or not. So let me just put uh, the the data set again in front of you, so that I think it will become easier here. Okay, so first, what we want to calculate is entropy of whether we want to play tennis or not. So can anyone help us how to calculate this entropy? I hope you remember the formula. Formula was minus of summation over all the possible values that it can take and the probability of those possible outcomes, right? So basically, if I were to expand this particular thing, then maybe I can write something like this, that minus of probability of it will play tennis will yes into, of course, there is a log base to 2i play tennis, and then minus of p of play tennis is equal to no into log base to 2 play tennis is equal to no here, right? So having said that, can someone would like to help us?
0.940.
What is 0.49940? The total value?
Yeah, the entropy for playing tennis.
Okay. Okay. So I hope that others are able to understand this particular thing as well. Now, if you were to calculate the h of y given x in this case, which is h of, we want to calculate the play tennis given x is the humidity can be high or low. So anyone, or maybe let me just make it a bit clear, and I think I would like to expand. We can expand it a bit here. I think this is where we have a good place. Okay. So we want to identify h of play tennis given humidity. Okay, so now help us out how to expand this particular value. Again, this is going to be nothing but the conditional entropy of the bifurcation that we have done. And if you remember the humidity bifurcation, I think we can just do it here also, right? Humidity bifurcation was what? I think, can someone please help me out here again? Humidity, how many times humidity can be high or normal? So this is normal, this is high. How many times it is coming for the normal? How many S's are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I believe, right? So 6, yes. And is there any no also for normal? Yes, I think 1 no, right? For the normal, there is 1 no. Are there any more no? No, I guess, right? And then for the high, when the humidity is high, we have how many S's? 1, 2, 3, 3, I think 3, 3, right? Someone did say 3, 3 before, if I recall well, right?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay, whatever. I mean, that you can check. So, okay, then this is going to be 14, right? Perfect. Okay, perfect. So, having said that, now would anyone like to help me out here? How to proceed with this thing? I just expand the formula. How will you expand the formula now? Anyone? No one? अच्छा फॉर्मूला ही बताओ क्या है चलो फॉर्मूला बताओ फिर बाद में उसको एक्सपार्ट करते हैं एनीवन वुड लाइक टू
Minus P of high, yes.
P of high
Yes, when yes.
given yes.
Yes, given yes.
I think was there not in the conditional probability, sorry, in the conditional entropy, okay, sorry, yeah, you can go. P high given yes,
into log of base 2
log base to
P,
2.
P of high, yes,
P of
means probability हाई की probability yes की जब वो हाई है ह्यूमिडिटी.
like this, high given yes.
हाँ,
Yes, okay. And
माइनस
then
नो के लिए आ जाएगा माइनस पी हाई गिवन नो इंटू लॉग ऑफ
P high given no into log
log
of
of टू.
same
हाँ
thing.
हाँ, दिस इज फॉर
High, this
this
is for,
high. Similarly, the formula would be for no also. Sorry, normal also.
okay. So
And
normal given yes, normal given yes, and normal given no, right? I mean the same thing, right? So for example, what you're saying here, normal given yes, no, and normal given no, no, high given yes, high given no, right?
Sir, we have to multiply with the probability of high also, I think.
Yeah,
yes,
that is what I was thinking. That I think there was a probability before also there was some probability of
yes,
that.
yes, yes. Is
So
to
it should be,
P of high.
and it should be with everything, right? I mean
Yes,
with all of it actually. So
yes,
this has
and
to become one, and then yeah, you're right. So it's a bit tricky, but yeah, I think okay, okay, perfect. So can we try to put these values? Let us try to put certain. And if you see, that's why I'm saying, right? If you just make this thing, then this is going to make your life really, really easy, right? It's as simple as forget about the formula. If you are not able to, like put a lot of stress on the formula, just think from this particular point. You have the humidity feature, right? Humidity feature, you just bifurcate it. I hope that this is clear, right? Is there anyone who is not able to make sense कि ये कैसे बनाते हैं हम ट्री कैसे बनाते हैं यहाँ पे? Anyone? Is it clear? हाँ या ना बोल दो भाई तभी आगे चले तब से हम. ये क्लियर नहीं है?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
इट्स क्लियर राइट ओके तो अगर यहाँ पे क्लियर है तो फिर आपको बहुत ज्यादा सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है यहाँ पे देखो अगर यहाँ से क्लियर हो गया तो देन यू हैव सिंपली अच्छा 14 में भी आई थिंक देन शुड बी लाइक 6 + 1 7 how many are there for the high is 7 and I think sorry normal is 7 and high is also 7 both are 7 7 right is it like that
Yes, sir.
yeah perfect okay so if you simply look at this particular thing so what is going to be p of high then so it's simply like you have to calculate how I think this is not p of high this should be I think we are doing something wrong here if I'm not wrong can we because I think this is about the first we have to check what is the outcome of the probability sorry rather than p of I should it not be like p of whether I'm going to play tennis or not
So P of yes and P of no.
that is what I'm saying right this is p of yes or no rather than p of high or low if I'm not wrong can we check the formula again I think
Yes, sir, it would be P of yes and no.
okay how if, let me see if how we have expanded is this particular thing so this is going to be but no but this again here it is not saying x this is saying x is equal to x of j right so x is equal to x of j means the values that we are going to look say x is equal to high or x is equal to low which is sorry in this case humidity is equal to high or humidity is equal to low so I think then it should not be confusing right anyone so far is this fine I
So
think
it would be play tennis, yes or no, it would be like that, I guess.
no, but then we are saying that either the formula is wrong or either we have rotated it wrong right I think forget about this expansion. I mean, this expansion can be tricky. That's what I'm saying. We should not look at the expansion now. Let us try to look at this particular thing, whether this formula is right or not. If the formula is right, then I think we should go by the formula, right? And if we are going by the formula, then it is saying x is equal to high and x is equal to low. So
Yes,
that
sir,
is
it would be high or normal, but I think something is wrong in the. We have written something
yeah
wrong.
we have yeah so I think here
Basically.
on so that is why I think it was confusing we have written here wrong I think so yeah so we should not get confused with this thing let us try to expand the formula itself so like what we want to look at we want to look at the different values of x so in this case the different values of humidity is going to be what the different values of the humidity is going to be uh, normal or high. So we have to look it accordingly, like P of normal, humidity is equal to normal, P of humidity is equal to high, and accordingly here what is going this what this term is will expand to? This term will expand to P of whether, let's say, we want to play tennis. Play tennis is equal to yes, because it is going to be for all the values. Play tennis is equal to yes and play tennis is equal to no, given x is equal to x of j, which is the x of j is, well, let's say we can take it from the normal, right? So I think this is how it's going to expand. So I think we were right on the track. So forget about the what is written on the slides. Let us to look at the formula again. Okay, so let me just rub this a bit and then we can start it again here. So yeah, so can we try to fill in the values now for the where is my cursor now? Here. Okay, so play tennis given humidity. Perfect. Okay, so can we try to fill in the values now? Again, I think it was we understood that it is going to be for P is equal to humidity is equal to normal into some term, and I think it should be minus, right? The formula, if I'm not wrong. P humidity is equal to high into some particular term, right? So can we quickly, okay, so P of humidity is equal to normal. How much is this? Anyone? Is there a confusion?
0.5, 7 by 14.
0.5. Perfect. This is also 0.5. This is also 0.5. Okay. So can you please give me the values of this particular thing? These two values, A, B, where A and B will be expanded as per the formula that we just saw. Please calculate these values so that we can move ahead.
0.5916 and 0.9852.
Sorry for the okay. So you are saying for the A and B, right?
So for normal, it is 0.5916 and for high it is 0.9852
No, this or you are talking about with the multiplication itself.
without the multiplication, without
Yeah,
multiplying with
multiplication.
0.5.
Okay, so this is
0.5916
0.5916 and then
and
minus
then minus
0.5
0.5 into 0.9852.
9852. Okay, perfect. So how much it is going to be?
So once you subtract this from the entropy of the parent, you get 0.1518. This is the final information gain.
So you are giving me the final information gain. You are giving me the value of the Ig of humidity, right?
Yeah, so this is correct, whatever he's mentioned here, but once you calculate this and once you subtract this from the information gain of the parent, then you get 0.1518. So 0.1518 is the final information gain of humidity.
Of humidity. Okay. So what point?
1518.
18. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So I hope that you have made the calculations right. So can anyone would anyone like to affirm that or negate that? Did everyone arrive to the same answer in this case?
Yes, sir, it's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then so let us try to calculate the same thing for the information gain for the wind as well. So I hope that now for the wind, I hope that it is going to be easier again for the wind. So I guess Soumya, do we have a quiz here for this or no?
Oh, yes, sir.
We do have a quiz, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think the values that are calculated here could be wrong. So please, because I think I made the expansion on a bit wrong note. I'm not sure why the slides are not working now. Okay, so I think where is the quiz, Soumya? Is later, right? So should we first find out the value of the wind then?
So it is for the next slide.
Okay, so let us try to find out the value of the wind as well, and then I think then we can say, I think here then the values that are written here, then it could be wrong if I'm not wrong, right? So information gain, I think these values could be wrong. I'm not sure, but can anyone please confirm that what are the values that we are getting for the humidity and the wind now?
So it's 0.48, 0.48.
Which one for the humidity?
Wind, sir.
So you already calculated?
Yes.
Oh, that was quick. Okay, so can anyone please confirm if these values are right?
Correct, it's correct.
Everyone? Okay, so I think, in the interest of time, we can just move a bit. So I think the next we have the quiz, and please do not answer it in the chat. So Soumya, over to you. Then please float the quiz, and then we can.
Yes, sir.
Great. So over to you then.
Quiz is posted in the chat. Please look into it.
Soumya, please keep reminding about the remaining time.
Time's up. You can stop responding.
Okay, I think you can just okay. So I guess the question was whether to split on the humidity or to the wind. So now I think as we just saw that since the information gain on the humidity is greater than the information gain on the wind, so we will have to if we have to choose between the humidity and the wind, we can simply choose the to split on the humidity first, and then we can choose the next. And of course, in the same way, for example, given the four attributes here: humidity, wind, temperature, and outlook, we have to calculate the information gain for all the four attributes. Whichever is highest, we will use that first. Whichever is second highest, we will use that second, and third, and fourth, and so on, so forth. Right. So this is how you basically construct. I'm not sure why it is not moving. The slides are not moving for me, but okay. In any case, this is the last slide. So this is how you construct the decision tree given particular data, and this is how you arrive to the classification on that. Right. I mean, of course, as I said, there are one particular aspect that we did not talk about, which is the can we achieve regression using the decision tree? So answer is yes. You can also achieve regression using decision trees, but these things are just to go out of the scope of the course. But I would definitely encourage you guys to please look at that as well. And I guess so. Now since we are moving to the quiz in 5 minutes, so before that, we would like to take some questions, couple of quick questions here, so that we can smoothly move to the quiz. So any quick doubts here? No doubts?
Just one question.
Mhm.
In the same data, we have two features. One is temperature and another one is humidity.
Mhm.
Temperature has three possible outcomes: hot, mild,
Yes,
and cold.
exactly.
Humidity has only two: high
Yes,
and normal.
yes.
Now, just looking at the possible outcomes, is it possible to derive this information gain that feature with the more outcomes
Yeah, so
will
why not?
have
No. Yeah.
higher
So
information gain?
for example, like if we look at the temperature. So for example, temperature, you are saying that we have the three outcomes, right? So that is perfectly fine. Overall, we have only 14 samples, and let us just quickly do this thing also. So for the temperature, you said how many possible outcomes are there? One is the hot.
Three.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to note it down: hot, mild, and cool, right? And then, so for the hot, of course, there are going to be some positive, negative. For mild, there is going to be positive, negative. For the cool, there is going to be a mild, negative. So the calculations that we did for the information gain calculation for the humidity and wind is the same way we can do the calculation for the temperature as well. I'm not sure.
Okay,
Was that
yeah, that part is fine. I mean, I understood
Okay.
that calculation, but I was thinking like, just thought came to my mind, like if without doing calculation, is it possible to just say that because there are three outcomes, it will have high entropy or other way around,
No, no,
or it
it
is
is.
just an absurd idea?
No, it's not an absurd idea. I mean, there could be some sense, but you have to understand one thing, that whenever the data, particular data that is going to be given to you, the data set size is not going to be as small as you are looking at. So, for example, actually, by looking at this particular data, maybe if a new sample is given to you, you don't even have to construct a decision tree. By just doing some calculations in the mind, like ESS, HRR, you will be able to get the outcome also very easily, because the data set size is very, very small. But you have to understand, in practice, you will have the data set which is going to have millions of samples, right? So wahan pe to you will never be able to do it. And simply the idea that, okay, whether if one particular attribute is bifurcating on more number of options, should have higher information gain. So answer is no. I mean, it may or may not. So that has nothing to do with the whether it will have a higher information gain or not, because it will depend on ultimately how many like how it is dividing the options. So, for example, like there are three outcomes for a particular attribute, and for all the three particular outcomes, imagine that it is giving you the same number of classes. So, for example, let's talk about the temperature. So temperature is hot, then also you are saying you will play tennis. Temperature is mild, then also you are saying that you will play tennis. Or temperature is cool, then also you are saying you will play tennis. Or for that matter, you are saying the equal number of times you will play tennis or not. And so then it is not adding any information essentially, even if it is bifurcating on the three different things. But on the other hand, if there are only two, and there is some attribute which has only two possible outcomes, but in one outcome you are saying that, okay, if I am taking this outcome, then there is a majority with which I am saying that, okay, whether I am going to play tennis or not, versus in some other there is a majority in which I am going to say I am going to not play tennis. So then like that is giving you more information. So I hope that it was a bit clear, and I was able to.
Yeah, it is making sense to me. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so any quick question? Any other quick question? No?
Excuse me, sir. Actually, just to sum up whatever we have done. So in this ID3 algorithm, the information gain is the main factor. I mean to say that in each step we are calculating the information gain, and the base and the attribute with the highest one will be accepting that. So this is the logic.
Exactly. So if you understand, like we talked about, the top-down index, how we. So I think we talked about, right? Decision trees can be grown in two ways. You can go from the top down, you can go from bottom up. Here we are saying that, okay, we are following. Usually we follow top-down greedy approach. So this is what the entire algorithm. So I hope that you have gone through this algorithm. This is the entire algorithm of the decision trees. Now the only thing that we were trying to answer is how to find the best attribute. What we will say is the best attribute, and that is where I'm saying there are many different ways. And one way that we understood is how ID3 does it, which is ID3 makes use of the information gain. So it basically tries to understand if the uncertainty, there is a reduction in the uncertainty by making use of that one particular attribute. That is what can be termed as a best decision attribute for a particular node, from the beginning till the end, until and unless all the training samples are getting perfectly classified. Because if not, then we will keep on adding the more nodes in the trees. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, perfect. So I guess, Soumya, what's that? I think now it's already 9:45. Like we would like to give them sufficient time for the quiz as well. So with that, then over to you, Soumya, and all the best, everyone. I hope that we have not made the quiz very hard. It's of easy level only, I would say. But please take your time, and I think we have given an ample amount of time as well. 45 minutes should be more than enough, right? So, Soumya, do you want to float the link here only, or do you want to float it on the other link?
Sir, I'll do both at both places.
Okay, perfect. So then I will just hand over to you, and all the best, everyone. And so, other link, can you also put me on the other link so that I can also be there if required?
Sir, I'm posting in the chat as well as in the Google Classroom.
Okay, sorry. Okay, here only. Okay, perfect. So I think, Okay, so please go ahead then. Please go ahead. Go ahead, and now I'm in mute. Perfect. Thanks.
Quiz has been posted. You can start giving your exam. It will be closed at 10:31.
Yeah, and please understand that we have prepared the quiz for hardly 20-30 minutes, and we have given 15 extra minutes just to you to take care of any internet issues and all that, right? So we will not be able to entertain this issue if I internet nature the last man all that. Try to finish it in time and try to submit it in time. Okay. So all the best again. Thanks.
Soumya ma'am,
Yes.
how much time is left?
Uh, the form will stop accepting at 10:32.
10:32. Okay.
Excuse me, madam. Madam.
Yes.
Madam, I'm submitted, but no message display on my screen. Can you confirm me?
Will you please check your mail ID, Gmail account with which you logged in? You will get a response sheet over there.
No response will be in my mailbox also. No.
Okay.
Okay. It's confirmed. It's confirmed.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, I've submitted the response, so should I leave?
There will be a tutorial after this. So we will continue on the same link.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I'll take the demonstration. Tutorial will be there after this, after 10:32. So we will continue in the same link. So you have to stay here. I hope everybody has submitted because time's up. So I'm closing the I'm closing except. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Am I audible?
You are audible.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, I've stopped accepting the form. I hope everybody has submitted. Okay, let's start with the demonstration now. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in the next lecture, we are going to continue with the linear regression. So in linear regression, it's a regression. I hope you know the difference between classification and regression. Regression is like when we have a scalar input data. The data keeps on coming. So on when we have to make prediction on such data, then that is a regression. So in the next lecture, sir is going to cover the topic linear regression. Then it will be more clear to you. But today, let's give the demonstration. Okay, in the assignment one, I made certain updation. Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen? Can anybody confirm?
We don't see this.
Yes.
We see the screen, but I mean your name, not presentation or something else.
No, I can see the presentation.
Okay, okay, okay. If you're not able to see the screen, please check your network. Okay, then in the assignment one, these were the questions. So what you have to do is you have to perform the linear regression on the certain data set given over here. You have to perform k-fold cross validation in this exercise. Many of you don't know what is k-fold, so we are going to cover this. We are also going to see what is how the linear regression is going to work. What I have updated here is earlier we were asking you to plot a graph for iteration and losses, but now you have to plot a graph for k values. I'll tell you what is k-fold cross validation, and after that you have to create a graph. Okay. Can you see this? Can you see the k-fold current screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am. I can't see anything. Just your name, just presentation, but the whole screen is still still black.
Okay, there's some
So
issue with your network. Kindly reconnect with the network.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Try to reconnect. That's what I did. It solved my problem. So just reconnect.
Okay. So here k-fold validation is like, yes.
Could you just increase the font size a bit?
Better?
Better.
Okay, so k-fold is like cross validation. When you have to validate, it's a kind of it's a parameter to validate your model, generated model. So what we are doing here is this is a cross validation. What we are going to do is we are going to divide our data set. Suppose we are having the data set of 100 samples. See, we have a 100 sample. So what we are going to do is we are going to divide the data into k folds. Like if I'm having a 100 sample, so I'm going to divide in 25 into 75 ratio. 25 will be my validation data set, and that is testing data set, and 75 will be my training data set. So I'm going to do is with the 75 data set, I'm going to test the 25 data set. 75 I'm going to train, and with the 25 samples I'm going to test my generated data set, the generated model. So in usually we do this, means up till now we were doing this, we are dividing the data set into some ratio, and we are then running training and testing the model. So in k-fold, what we are doing is to check the accuracy, this is a parameter to check the accuracy of your model. So what we are doing there, we are going to divide the data set in such a way that we are going to equally divide the data. Suppose we are having a sample of 100 data size. So if I'm dividing into k-fold, k is my 4. If k is my 4th, I'm going to divide the data set into 4 set data set. Then I'm going to divide it equally. Then if I'm dividing 100 sample with 4, what will be the one size of the data set? 25? Yes. So I'm doing is 25 I'm testing, and with the, can you see the cursor?
Yes.
Okay, with the 25 I'm validating, and 75 I'm going to train. This is for experiment 1. K-fold means 4 times I'm going to do the same, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the different samples for training and testing. See, for the first, if I'm having sample of 1, 2, 3, 4 up till 100. So for first testing, what I'm doing is I'm taking sample 1 to 25 for testing, and remaining 26 to 100 for training. Next, for the next, then I'm going to check the accuracy. For the next fold, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check 26 to 50 for training testing, rest for the training of my data set. For the next, I'm going to change the training set from 51 to 75. And for the next, I'm going to change 76 to 100. So this is k-fold. Using this, when you're using k-fold, then you're going to get the more then you're going to get the accuracy of your model, how accurate your model is. Because sometimes we have the different types of data. Suppose you're having the data set of 100. So sometimes what happens ki jo starting ke jo data hote hain, they are very predictable, and last one is not predictable. So this is just for getting the more accurate model. So you're getting what I'm telling here, why we are doing k-fold.
But you said something about initial data is more predictable and the last data is not. What exactly do you mean? I could not get it.
See, if starting data is more predictable, this is in a case if starting data is more predictable and training data is not very good, very nice, not predicting very not very predictable data, then we are training with such data set. So it may be possible that model is not giving the better result. So to make our model robust, what we are doing is we are just changing the training set and the testing set. Number of samples coming under training and testing set, we are changing it just to get the best result. What we are doing is we're going to we are going to take the best mean of these value. If we are dividing in the folder k value is 4. If we are going to calculate the mean value, average value, and then we can find that which result is giving the better result, which k value is giving the better result. Okay.
Okay.
No, but isn't that approach wrong? Like, let's say there is 10 sample data points, and we do a split on k is equal to 10. So the 10 samples will be divided into, let's say, 10 parts. So in the training part, there will be 9 samples, and in the test set, there will be only one sample. And then let's say the test set actually get predicted correctly. So it
Yes.
will be 100% accuracy.
See,
But
this is called LOOCV, that is leave one out cross validation. This is a drawback. That is why we are increasing the size of K. See, we cannot take one value. If we are taking if your size is 10 data size of 10 size, then we are not going to take the testing size as 1. We have to increase. We have to divide in certain ways कि मतलब you get sufficient amount for testing the data set. Okay.
okay.
So I hope a fold cross validation is clear to you. Anybody is having any doubt? To check the robustness of your model, we also use this. If you are preparing more than one machine learning model, we use this method also to check whether your model is giving the better result or not. Okay. Next is, okay, this is the concept of fold cross validation. So what you have to do is, you have to evaluate for 10. Means if you are taking K value, if you're taking K value 2, then if you're taking K value 3, means you have to use this K value. You have to make the K value from 2 to 10. K value should be from 2 to 10. And then if K value is 2 means if you're dividing into half and half. If 3, then 4 means you have to make fold K value, different K value from 2 to 10. You have to generate a graph. You have to calculate the accuracy, mean accuracy for each fold, and you have to plot a graph. Now you have to plot a graph in this one, in B section. Okay. Now next is what you have to gradient descent. Again, sir is going to teach you tomorrow lecture it will be covered. Then it will be more clear to you that what is gradient descent loss optimization. Okay, there are two types of loss functions. I'm going to show the demonstration. We are going to use this, but it will be more clear when you're going to attend the lecture tomorrow. Okay, so this is the question. Hope it is clear now. Question number 1 is clear now for the assignment. Can anybody confirm?
So here we have to do everything manually, like do the linear regression using gradient descent. So we cannot use sklearn because sklearn uses least square method. Is that right?
Pardon, please.
So here in the first question, we have to do the coding using like our own code. We cannot use sklearn and all.
I'll show you. I'll give the demonstration.
Okay.
Okay. Any other doubt for question 1, question 2 and 3? I'll tell you tomorrow. It will be better if I'll tell you, because lecture will be covered. Then it will be more clear to you. Okay. Let's move to the question. Okay, here I have taken admission prediction data set. This is a public data set available. So here in this, on basis of certain features, we are going to predict whether the student is going to get the admission or not. So I have taken this data set. So I'm going to run this. I'm going to install the package, upload the packages. So you can see, see this.
Madam, excuse me, if you can kindly increase the font a bit. Font. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, this is the data set based on the basis of GRE, these features, so PLR research. On the basis of this, we are going to make the prediction whether the student is going to get the admission or not. Since we are using regression, so it will not be a binary like 0 or 1. It will tell the probability. Means it will tell whether how much % values chances are there that he will get the admission. So what I'm doing is here is I'm just updating the location. This is for the tabular format purpose. Okay, this is how it will look like. Updated. I've updated the data set. Now earlier you can see serial number was there. This is for the representation for the data set. So it is now removed. Next, what I'm doing, print the data size shape. The data sizes of 400 samples and 8 features on the basis of 8 features. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to divide X and Y. X will be the features on which we are going to make the prediction, and Y is the target feature. So X and Y has been done. Now let's see the shape. Again, you can see 400 sample with 7 features and 400 target values. Now, what we are going to do is here is we are going to split the data set. Okay, one of the participant has asked what is splitting of data set. See, in why we are doing splitting is, suppose we are having 100 of samples, 100 samples are there. We are going to split in certain values. If you're just training your data set, you're training your data, you will not, you're training your data machine learning algorithm with different machine learning algorithm with same data set, you will not be able to get which data algorithm is giving better result. So you need to have certain parameters on the basis of which you're going to predict ki kaun sa model is giving better result. So that is why we are testing the data set also. So that is why we are dividing here x and this is a package we are going to import just to bring this function train test split function to just to get this function. Here we are taking x and y value and we are dividing the test size. Two is here 20%. 20% is test and the rest 80% is the training set. Now again you can see certain packages are there which are already inbuilt. Linear regression is also inbuilt. So what you have to do is you have to write this line. sklearn has different machine learning algorithms. So what you have to do is you have to write this and you have to import linear regression. In linear regression, what we are doing in linear regression, you have this function we are going to save in a variable linear dot fits. We are going to fit the train and y train. Why we are fitting this train? Because we have to train the algorithm with the we have to train the algorithm. So what we are doing is we are fitting this. That now prediction is linear dot predict x test data will be the prediction. Now we are when I'm running this x test. Now linear see here linear variable is my machine learning models after model which I have trained with the data set. Data set over here, admission data set I have trained here. Now y x test is the text value I'm going to make I'm going to use this for predicting. X test is a test data set. I'm going to use this for prediction, making the prediction using the model this machine learning model linear. So it is making the prediction for because since we have not manually see the data, so we cannot see. But you can see this is a earlier we were getting binary values, but this is since we are using regression, so we are getting the values in probability. Okay, next this is what we are going to do. This is a cross validation. See, CV is a cross validation 5 value. 5 here I'm using because I'm dividing the data set into 5 folds. As you can see here, we are dividing the data into 4 fold. 4 fold matlab ki 1 fold will be for testing and remaining will be for training. 4 fold. Now here I'm dividing the data set into 5 fold. CV here is you have to mention how many what will be the into how many amount you are going to divide the data set. So in the question assignment here you have to find out which k value is giving the better result. So you have to implement 2 to 10 when you're taking value 2, when you're taking value 3, up to 10 you have to do, and you have to find out which accuracy is giving the better result, and you have to mention why it is giving why you're picking the k value as this, why you will pick the k value as
So the CV is k value or what?
CV is k value, yes. Cross validation kitna means if you're having the data set, how many dividing into how many folds.
Okay.
This is just a random, but this is just, I mean, giving you example. You don't have to do this, just this. You have to make a loop. You have to make a loop with k value from 2 to 10, and you have to calculate in each loop. You have to calculate the accuracy. If k value is 2, how much accuracy, average accuracy it is giving. If it's 3, then only you can get if the maximum accuracy will be the best result. Are you getting?
To like do error and trial thing ki kis
Yes.
pe ki okay.
You can also print ki agar k ki value is 2, you have to print mean accuracy. If k's value is 3, you have to print the mean accuracy, and you have to then plot the graph. See, in part B you have to do the same thing. You have to make a graph. Here you have to write k value. See, if k value is 2, if k value is 3, if k value is 4, so mean accuracy you have to calculate. How you're going to calculate the mean accuracies? When you're taking the k value as 2, the data will be in 2 parts, right? Data will be divided for 2 parts. Am I? Are you? Is it clear to you?
Sort of, but not completely.
Okay. Okay. See, what you have to do is k की value जो होगी, it will be from 2 to 10. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. If k की value we are taking 3, so how many times we are going to run this? If we are dividing k value as 3, so 3 times we are going to run this.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this will be for first time, this will be the test size. For second time, this will be the test size. For third time, this will be the test size, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to calculate accuracy for this mean accuracy. मतलब कि तीनों की जो average accuracy होगी, you have to plot on this. If the k fold is 3, then what will be the accuracy? For if k fold is 2, what will be the mean accuracy? If k fold is 3, 4, what will be the mean accuracy? You have to plot this graph. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody is having any doubt over here in the assignment question? Okay. So in this part,
regarding the logistics. So first one is that since you were telling that you will be teaching tomorrow, can you please increase the deadline? This is the first thing, which is a request. The second thing is that when I was admitted to this course, the admin, it's Aman, told me that it is not mandatory to join classes on Sunday. You can view it the recordings afterwards. Now you have put a mark on the classroom that there will be attendance policy of n-2 something. So this is what we don't expect from an executive course, right? If we are working professionals. So if you can please tell something about it. Like I have also informed
can we
Aman.
discuss after this lecture, after this tutorial? Let me complete this.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. I hope the assignment question is clear to you, how to implement the question. Okay, next what we are doing is here I'm randomly taking CV cross validation k value as 5. So 5 means 5 time mean accuracy, it will 5 time accuracy it will give, because 5 time it is training and testing with the different samples. Next, what I'm going to do is this loss functions. You can see here there are different loss functions we are going to use, and we have to optimize this. So we have to what I'm doing here we have to you have to use RMSE and MAE, that is root square mean error loss. You have to calculate. You can simply calculate this using this function. Okay, you can use this, but you should know how it is calculating. There's certain formula for this to calculate this on the y test and y product part. You can use this. See, this is the loss.
Excuse me, you said the RMSE and MAE.
Yes, MAE, mean absolute error.
Mean absolute error. Okay, thank you.
These are the different laws. You should know this is the function already known, but you should know what it is doing, what formula it is using. Okay, so it is calculating here. Now, next is, this is just for the presentation. The key, if slope, if we are calculating the slope, linear coefficient of the linear value, linear regression, intercept, root median, means these two losses we are calculating. We have calculated above. Okay, is anybody is having any doubt over here? So basically, if you have to write the assignment 1, you can take help from this. I hope k-fold is clear to you. In k-fold, you have to use the loop for which will run from 2 to 10. Next, what you have to do is you have to calculate the two losses. And for k value, for the best result you're getting, you can use the RMSE and MAE. You can calculate for the best k value. Okay, is it clear? Anybody? Okay, we can continue with the doubt. One of the participants were having some doubt. Okay, somebody was having doubt.
Can you please discuss that, or it will be done after that class?
No, you can discuss now.
Yeah. So I was just telling, like, since it's an executive course, it might happen that I might have my office work on Sunday. I might not join. I can see the recordings later, since the recordings are provided. But if it's if something like attendance is graded or something, then it will be very difficult for people like us who are working to always join in on time on and all these things. So I have also informed this to Aman. He told that he will be probably coordinating with you on this.
Okay.
But Sundays are generally kept for family time since we are working from Monday to Friday exhaustively. So if you can see to this.
Sandeepan, I'll insist कि you talk to the instructor or okay, I'll talk to Aman sir.
Okay, please. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
And assignment deadline also, if you can see, it's tomorrow only. It will be taught some topics.
Okay.
If you can please.
Okay. I'll give the extension. I'll try to provide the extension. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Someone kindly share the K-Fold PPT. K-Fold PPT. I've not created any PPT, but yeah, I can share you some content for the K-Fold. Also, I'll provide you this coding code so you can work on it. You can make your hands dirty on it.
Could you just share this collab that you showed us?
Pardon, please, Ankita.
Could you please just share that collab that you were presenting?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to share this. I used to share this tutorials.
Ma'am, I just want to know, you have taught this linear regression.
Yes.
So, in future, other type of regression methods will be taught like logistic regressions or various other.
Logistic regression, I don't think there will be more regression. Usually we use classification. Like I think we are going to teach you SVM, support vector machine. This is a classification. You taught knife based decision tree. These are classification. Regression, I think this is the only linear regression is the only topic we are going to cover.
Okay.
Another thing, just a small doubt: is this class a language specific one? Can I use R if I'm more comfortable with that?
Yeah, you can use, but the thing is, in Python, many packages are available, so it will be benefit for you. Otherwise, you have to write it from the scratch. So that is why we generally use Python for machine learning and deep learning.
Okay.
Okay. Any other doubt?
Madam, regarding project, it's deadline about 27th of this month.
27 is a mid project presentation. You have to show something you're working on the project.
According to documentation.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you, madam.
Okay. You can ask if you have any doubt. You can mail if you have any doubt.
Okay, fine, madam.
Any doubt on the today's lecture or any doubt for the course? Okay, I think nobody's having any doubt. We can quit the session. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.